And thank you for joining the Monday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, federal government moves to start of industrial action by organized labor over fuel subsidy disputes, meets NLC, leadership of NLC, and later on the show, Mrs. Obasanjo begs Oyo Obas, Yoruba people over husband's action. I'll be hanging out with returning Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Gani Kayode Balogun. So if you are ready, let the hangout start now. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. BKO is back. BKO, some of our viewers alluded to the I don't know, maybe a figment of their imagination that BKO has been relieved of his duty for doing some some political jobs that BKO is no longer with TVC, and they were praising and were even predicting that somebody else will follow suit. BKO, what have you done to these people now?
That person could be you.
What have you done to these people now? I don't know wishing you well.
If you are made a habit of speaking the truth, people will hate you now. They won't like you. Especially the people who are so incorrigibly opposed to the truth. People who are pig-headedly opposed to the truth. They will not like you. But you see, sometimes I wonder whether the Nigerians have stopped appreciating the work we do here. But when I travel, I see in bold relief that Nigerians thoroughly appreciate what we do.
Beyond what you see in Lagos,
and that our program is the most watched program in the country. Go to northern Nigeria, the far north, where we have the greater population. It is Journalist Hangout. Journalist Hangout is the only program that has nothing to do with soccer that people pay to watch in some viewing centers. Niger State, even Ogun State, somewhere in Akute, some people pay to go and watch Journalist Hangout. But the next year, will say, nobody watches you again. It has no competition on its belt. It has no competition. The breakfast shows, they have competition. All the TV stations, they have something similar to what this one is doing, what that one is doing. Journalist Hangout is the only one that stands.
Say that this belt is taking.
That stands like the Kilimanjaro mountain. The Kilimanjaro mountain is the highest solitary mountain in the world. All the big mountains of the world, they are mountain ranges. So Kilimanjaro is the only mountain that stands alone and that is the highest. That is what Journalist Hangout represents in our country. You see artisans in Yobe, they are watching. They want to know what's going on in their country. The diaspora Nigerians, because they know that you will say the truth. The truth that some people hate to hear, you hear it here without fear of favor. Whether it's APC,
especially
or
your perceived prediction of the 2023 election.
Yes,
that didn't go down well.
I was at Tese Makende's wedding. You know, these days I don't like when I get invited to churches. I really don't like. In my own church, they are used to me. But when I go to churches in other places, people get distracted from listening to the preacher. And I don't like that. One of the pastors said, this is an oracle. He pointed at me that what he told us will happen during the election, it happened. In Tese Makende's, at his wedding. So when some people say those nasty things, sometimes you want to think, is it that you are doing something wrong? But everywhere you go, whether at the airport or anywhere else, you see people who appreciate your work telling you to your face. I was at the airport in Maiduguri. I was just waiting. security people came, they said, the VP is here, don't you want to see him? Come. I didn't ask them to lead me to where the VP was. So it's grace and the appreciation of what we do. No one can take that away from us. And we are going nowhere. Nobody is sacking anybody. How do you sack a person you are happy with his work? Are you kidding me? Are you whining me?
Are you whining me?
You can't be sack call. Sacking it.
All right. Welcome back, BQ.
Thank you.
The metro is back. Also, welcome. Yeah. So, let's begin. Now, let's begin with the political impasse in Edo State, as it appears that there is no retreat, no surrender regarding the feud between Governor Godwin Obaseki and his deputy, Philip Shuaibu. The crisis has taken another twist following decision of the governor of Obaseki to bar his deputy from Government House, Benin City. Shuaibu got the shocking development when he got to his office this Monday and found that the gates and the main entrance leading to the story building was locked with chains and heavy padlocks. While he and his aides waited for about an hour before leaving, Shuaibu reportedly made frantic efforts to reach the governor without success. So, who blinks first in this blockbuster, Pajide?
I come office now, and the gate is locked. I am padlocking the gate, then padlock the gate. I'm padlocking the gate, the chain and key. Both the outer gate and the inner one, they padlock and chain it. The governor said they should lock it. That they are using the office for something else. I am not moved to anywhere. Nobody has given me letter to move to anywhere. Nobody has given me letter. So if governor say I'm moved, I'm not moved. I'm not moved. The governor did not give me letter. Nobody has given me letter to move. So how will I move out of my office? And now the gate is locked. I'm padlocked. So maybe, I don't know. So I call the governor, is not picking. So you call the governor that I didn't move because I didn't get any letter to move. Only the civil servant got letter to move. I'm told that the civil servant were given letter from the office of HOS to move out of this place. But me, I didn't get any letter to move. So I'm here. They should come and open the gate, please. And call the governor that I'm at the gate. They should please come and open the gate.
My last outburst on this matter was as if I had a stake in Edo politics, but then the deputy governor, the way he's being treated, just gives the lacuna in our constitution that gives no responsibility, no function. It's just like a spare tire. That's why a deputy governor can be so humiliated. That position can be so denigrated in this way.
It's just terrible. I'm not a fan of Shuaibu. I've never spoken to him in my life. You know, in fact, when I saw him for the first time, I didn't recognize him. He was the one who dragged my shirt. So I can't. You remember now that day during the GKB when Tribune celebrated.
Okay.
Yeah. So after I dragged my shirt and I just walked there, someone said, "That's the deputy governor." I didn't, and that was the last time we saw the late governor of Oyo State.
Isiaka
Ajimobi. That was the last public
outing.
Yes. You know, he was even accusing you of not calling him and all that. When you were saying, he said, Egmon to Obere. I still remember.
May he so rest in peace.
I don't know him personally. And I didn't recognize him that day. But he's been in the news repeatedly now for the way the governor has been embarrassing him, humiliating him, as if he's someone of no value. No matter what people may feel about him, it diminishes you as a person. As a person, if you are happy with what Obaseki is doing to his deputy, it shows that you are inherently not a good person. If this is something that you rejoice about, you are happy that a governor is behaving like this. I mean, this does not represent maturity, in my view. Because I've never seen a governor that went this far.
You know, to me, it's, oh, you Shuaibu, you've gone to court to preempt your removal. Instead of now removing you now, I'll make life difficult.
You so that maybe
I'll
on your own,
so that you
will now go.
Yes. I'll make you useless.
Maybe that's what
yes.
Trying to do.
The game plan.
Now, talking about that, what was it called? The place he was told to relocate to.
Yes.
The letter was sent to the PAMSEC that notifying him that, look, the deputy governor would no longer be using these offices to use somewhere else. And I learned that the place they sent him to used to be procurement office and located near the 4th Mechanized Brigade of the Nigerian Army. If you are relocating your deputy, somebody that you share the joint ticket with,
honestly,
sometimes it is the extra legwork of a deputy. It is the political capital that a deputy has that enables some governors to win elections.
Yes.
Presidents.
We've seen deputies even more popular than
the principal.
Their principal. The people warmed up to them.
This person is a political deputy. He has more gravitas.
Because the other person was not even a politician.
Yes.
He wasn't even a politician. To even win the primaries of his party at that time, Oshomole had to put his foot down that this is the person that I want. Remember, his cabinet was even divided. Some wanted Otubu. But Oshomole used his political weight as the governor to make sure that the primaries went to a man who later became thoroughly ungrateful to him. I'm sure that Oshomole, where he is full of regrets. Because what has he gained by bringing a man who has no regard for him? I saw them smiling at one another. I said, these are just political smiles. Because the insult that Oshomole got in the days leading to the election of this second term election of Obaseki, I don't think he has ever received it anywhere. And that's a man that is stuck his neck out to make governor. So it's unfortunate. We don't have to bother ourselves about some of the issues. I want to be deputy governor. I want to be governor. This person doesn't want me. He has not even come out to let us know who he wants. Nobody knows who Obaseki wants to support to be deputy governor. To be governor of the state. But he's just humiliating this person left, right, and center. It's just sad.
Even though the state government is as brutal as even engineering some media houses to sack some journalists in this account, like today now, another head has rolled now in Edo State just because of this reportage. Will journalists now see their work now and refuse to do their work?
In fact, the most endangered species we have in Nigeria today are journalists, especially those who have taken up appointments in government. Their lifespan depends solely at the discretion of the governors or the president, as the case may be. I think the first thing, we said it on this program, I think a couple of weeks ago, that there's something lacking in a man that is supposed to be refined. And then he decided to go and fight the battle in the gutter. Like a former governor of Lagos said, there are depths you don't descend to as a matter of courtesy, of whatever is your office. I think Mr. Obaseki has thrown all caution to the winds. Maybe because he realized that given the computation of the Nigeria's situation as we speak, and is in the PDP, there is nothing further to aspire to. So he decided to go for broke and do whatever he wanted. Because like I said, as long as he went to the PDP and APC is still in government at the federal level, it's going to be extremely difficult. Don't forget, even in the 2020 election, APC won, I think, 2 Senate seats in Edo, including the one that he will be aspiring for. And besides his own election in subsidy. So I think what we need to worry about is just to let this be a lesson to who be godfathers. That bringing a technocrat doesn't mean that you cannot be brutal. You cannot pretend that because somebody is a technocrat,
that will not be political.
Yeah, just don't assume that will just be bowing to you and let you run him aground. This man has shown that when it comes to streets, he has the same street cred as his godfather. Don't forget, he ran his father out of town for a while until that was rehabilitated by coming to the Senate now.
I want to thank our viewers that have been sending solidarity to welcome Babajide Kolade Toju. Viewers, thank you from across the world, Europe, America, everywhere across the country that have been sending your messages in. I can acknowledge it. I've seen them. They've been pouring. Thank you for the encouragement to welcoming BKO in. BKO, the last of Mohbad, we've not had the burial of that guy. After the burial of that guy, and the Commissioner of Police came out today to say that if they need to even conduct an autopsy, they will have to exhume that body. That's not the end.
Yes,
Spirit is definitely a very strong spirit.
That is what I expect to see. Honestly, the boy, in some of his songs, he spoke like somebody who knew that he would die.
That it will not last. Yeah.
In fact, in one song, one of his very recent songs, he said, "When I die, I will be more popular in death." And he spoke about heaven being the residence. You know, when a boy of 27 starts calling heaven his residence, that should tell you that the problems that they had put him through had reached this point. And the people who created enormous problems for a young man just because he chose to leave a label, they should be ashamed of themselves, and the scrutiny of the police should be visited on them. They need to be investigated. If necessary, they are not bigger than arrest. If necessary, they should be detained and thoroughly investigated. Now, look at what different artists are saying. Look at what Zlatan is saying. Look at what Bernard Schmoder, the one who sang about that little community in Abuja, look at what he's saying. That these guys, a lot of them are even saying that they know. Look at what Iyabo Ojo is saying. These are not ordinary Nigerians.
Iyabo Ojo was saying that the guy complained to our fiancé, the Polo guy that complained.
Yes.
That said he was.
These are not ordinary Nigerians. And it's unfortunate that that boy was going through all this, and those who were in position to assist him, to bring him out of the trouble that he found himself. Because it was said that his former label owner refused to even allow him to get shows.
Demarketing him.
He was demarketing him thoroughly. They say no, he will forget his lyrics.
And one of that talk was busy beating him everywhere, attacking him.
They even went to a video shoot with Zlatan. Say no, this boy should not be accorded any form of attention and all that. Why would people go to such lengths? Because somebody decided to leave your label. Now, what in this era of social media, look at what is already happening to Naira Marley. He has lost more than 500,000 followers on Instagram because of this boy. And two US shows, two US show promoters have already cancelled the upcoming tours of his biggest artist, Zinoliski. Already cancelled. Zino is supposed to perform in 10 American cities. So for Fetua Entertainment, Showbiz and Vibes Land Entertainment. And they said for unforeseen circumstances that they were cancelling the shows. That's money lost. Because you remember one video that went viral where the guy was saying that he wanted to leave this and that, this and that. It shouldn't be so difficult for someone to leave
a record label.
Record label.
It is very difficult all over the world.
Look at, you can call Portable a madman, but you can see that clearly Portable didn't want to be under the apron of anybody. He chose what looks like a good decision for him.
He's always talking about ripping them off.
Yes, now that is what they do. And when you want to leave, because they operate like a cult, they make sure that you don't get shows. Now this boy was already depressed.
And his life was in danger.
According to his friend, he even wanted to jump down from the story building because he was already tired of life. A boy with so much talent.
I didn't even know that he was the one that sang the song that he just brought into the studio.
He now said OPG, you know, good rapper.
Rhymes.
Yes, the thing flows. There was another one that he sang where he said, "Emi omo ghetto, motidaji no moto." My blessing. Now auto, on fait ba mi ya photo. You know, just flowing. So it's unfortunate. And when you watch the video of that particular song, the creativity, the artistry that was demonstrated with those masquerades and all that, it's a boy that we shouldn't have lost at such a young age.
GKB, police, they just set up an investigative panel and they're going to look into it. And this definitely will not be the end of that young man.
Well, not as far as the cause of his death. But this particular problem of contracts in entertainment industry, being more like a slave labor thing, has been with us for a long time.
Yes.
Don't forget there was a year that Sonade could not perform for 3 years because his label said he cannot leave them. So he had to go to court and he had to
The case is still in court, too.
I know.
After more than 40 years.
Even there was a Barista's album that they had to go and do the recording at the Republic of Benin. Because he could not do recording in Nigeria.
I remember because of that contract, yes.
So it's not really peculiar. Don't forget, even in the US, Taylor Swift had to go to court and then we record some of her songs all over again to own the copyrights. Because the court says that the label owned the original, something on our original song. So she went to court and then went to the studio and re-record all over again about 5 albums, which something will not come to her. So it's not peculiar. The only problem is that something must be done to make sure that artists are not ripped off regularly. But now it's like they are now a cabal control that industry in such a manner that they can now isolate you and make your life miserable.
Make life unbearable for you.
So just make sure that you have to.
That's what they've done to the boy.
It's unfortunate.
If some people are not made to pay for this, because what is your business? They are shooting a video, and you go there to disrupt the video with people with cutlasses. Why? What has Lagos degenerated?
I'm telling you
that people will be brandishing cutlasses in broad daylight to go and harass an artist. If he had not died, these issues would not have come to light. But when you listen to him, even on his sick bed,
yes,
the kind of things that I was saying on his sick bed, you will know that this is somebody who has gone through a lot. And not many people, knowing the talent that he's got, he wants to take care of his family. But you put him in a situation in which he could barely even feed, not to talk of paying his bills.
All avenues have been blocked.
You know, you block every avenue. You know, he was even planning to leave the country. He was planning to leave the country because of this harassment, because he thought at some point they will get him. It's just unfortunate. People should be free to leave. If they want to leave, let them leave. Yeah, you will be able to discover other artists.
Yeah, Constitution guarantees freedom of association.
Why should you...
That record label must be investigated.
Yes, there is a petition. Nigerians have signed. About 126,000 people have already signed a petition to ban Malian music. You know?
That is like a cartel. That there's something about it.
Naira Marley really went overboard on the matter of this boy. He really went overboard.
I think that would be his major.
With all those videos that were out and all that. They say sometimes even if he has disagreement, he will release his dogs on people. And those dogs are said to be very big. How do you use dogs to settle this?
Human being.
Yeah. What's the meaning of that?
All right. We'll take this break. We'll be right back after this time out.
Unwrap joy, unleash taste.
Like many things in life, making great music is a process. And a key part of that is the right data and the data that helps you understand what needs to be done and how to do it and what sound will connect with listeners.
No, bring it up. Let's go everybody see.
Whatever aspect of life you're into, enjoy the journey. 9 Mobile's got you covered.
Dial *301# now. 9 Mobile.
So, welcome back. We're still on Mohbad. He sent a letter June this year and wrote the letter with his name boldly written on top of like a petition to the police, accusing some individuals, accusing them.
He named some people that were after his life and after his business. It was a very detailed letter.
That should be the responsibility of the police.
That's why I'm surprised when the police commissioner is not saying they want to investigate now. Because he has already provided enough ammunition for investigation as far back as 4 months ago. So the police need to tell us exactly what they've done within the last 4 months when he raised the issue and what they're about to do now to make sure that he gets justice. The first step, of course, is to exhume his body, but there will have been no need for that if they had moved very quickly to ensure that when they complained, something was done. But we run a system in Nigeria where the onus is on the person alleging to prove. So normally in most countries, the people will be invited as persons of interest.
Yes.
And they will have their, whatever they are going to write on record.
Maybe restraining order or something.
Yeah. They will even call them that don't go near this man 2 kilometers in any direction.
Even husband and wife, it happens, they will tell the husband, if you are violent, they tell you don't get near this person. So at the point when they received the letter, what did they do?
That's all the police need to tell us.
The organs of the state should not be failing the people. When you receive this kind of letter, they do simply...
It's essentially SOS.
They'll come with their trouble again. No. Because I'm very certain that if the police had responded swiftly and invited the people concerned and warned them of the consequences...
It will not get to this.
It will not get to this. We have a thriving entertainment industry. But we can't deny that there are some fat cats in the industry who do not want others to grow,
Who
are
want them
behaving
under
like
control.
cultists, who would rather punish anybody who steps out of line. Because what is the point in an individual leading machete-bearing individuals, machete-wielding individuals to go and disrupt
to location?
A movie shoot? What's the meaning of that? I mean,
the police need to let us know what happened.
The police has to be seen to be doing his job. The IG already said, investigate this. Now we've been told that anybody involved will not be allowed to go scot-free. Nigerians are watching. The whole world is watching. Where Zinoliski is being stopped from doing, even a DJ tried to play Zinoliski's music. They told him
no.
If you don't want to risk your life, don't play that boy's music. And this is a boy, probably one of the most underrated, extremely brilliant musicians that we have.
Yeah.
Naira Marley is lucky to have him. Music comes effortlessly to that boy.
Naturally.
And he also comes from a very lowly background. He's an Agege boy. Zinoliski is an Agege boy. You know? So now, what he fails to realize that even his own business will be attacked by what has happened to this boy.
Yeah. And that brand will go down.
Yes. So we are waiting for the police to do what is right on this matter.
All right. In a bid to prevent an indefinite strike by organized labor over negotiation for petrol subsidy palliatives, the federal government met with the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, in Abuja. The Minister for Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, who sent the invites to the leadership of the NLC, said it is important that the union sits with governments to resolve pending matters towards averting disruption to the economy. Let's hear from the NLC and the minister.
Here, that belief that something will happen. But that doubt, that trust gap is yet to be filled for a long time now. And it calls for lamentation. We agree with you that there is need for productivity and for an all-inclusive engagement. And we talked about the effect of the strike that might have taking place in the last few weeks or months. I think we should look at it from the point of cause and effect. The strike is an effect of a policy that doesn't have much space. There was no strike before the issue of removal of fuel subsidies and promises. In fact, it was the government that said, ask for palliative, ask for wage. And we have asked for wage. We couldn't get any. I appear before you today not just as a representative of the government, but as an advocate for constructive dialogue, aspiring to understand your concerns and working hand in hand to find lasting solutions that benefit all Nigerians. I fully acknowledge and appreciate the invaluable role the NLC plays in championing for the rights and welfare of our workers. Your dedication and tireless advocacy have been critical in shaping a fair and inclusive work environment and ensuring the well-being of our workforce. We acknowledge the valid grievances that have fueled the recent labor crisis, and we are committed to addressing them in a just and equitable manner.
All right. Julie, Simon Lalong, former governor of Plateau State, now replacing
Little man.
Ngige. And let's see what he will do.
He's coming at a very difficult time because the former leadership of NSC was much more sedate, much more...
The Abdullahi Waba.
Yes, much more peace-loving than the current leadership. You can see, although he has toned down on
the rhetoric.
Yes, you know, we condemn him here that Look, we've had labor leaders since Oshomole and the rest. They were not talking like this, and yet they got the job done. So he has, Asansumon, the greatest of them all. But he has come down now. We no longer see him using those insults, those vile words that I was using in the past. But now, Lalong must know that Labour has a responsibility to deliver the best for its members. The workers, yeah. And they have a man now who is determined to let everyone know that he's not ready to play. So you just have to get the job done. Where Ayuba Waba will be polite. This person is not prepared to be polite. And he has every reason to even be angry. Because politically, let's even start politically, is on the opposing side
the government.
The tendency that this government represents. Somebody who can attend political rallies of a particular presidential candidate, you know where his interest is. So he's already self-motivated to fight them. He's already self-motivated to fight them. And that's why the promises that they have made, they must settle down and fulfill those promises. Yeah. Nobody will continue to blame Ajero if he continues to take these people on, or he wants to bring workers out for another round of strikes. Government has to do its own duty. People are going through a lot. People are suffering. Take steps that will alleviate these sufferings. Once you do that, Ajero will have nothing to complain about. He will merely just wait for another election where he can, of course, support his candidate again. But to not do what you promised, whereas a committee was set up, it's not what NLC wants to hear. They want to see concrete steps. And I am on their side on this matter. Government has to move fast. You know,
that's moving fast. GKB, they've said it since the removal of fuel subsidy, since May 29 to this time. It's enough time to have, gotten some things in clear terms. Oh, from this time to this time, we start implementing this new minimum wage, or we start doing this, or that the compressed natural gas that was, that things would have been moving by now. A lot of people feel that these things are not forthcoming.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that the government is overwhelmed in trying to do the deliverables. We need to, of course, set up timelines. And I agree with Labour that this must be measurable timelines over a period of time.
Yes.
Because you cannot now simply tell them that we are going to do this. And 3 months down the line, nothing has been done.
Now you have ministers in place.
So you cannot now blame that there are no ministers when you have a minister. And the minister himself cannot blame anybody because he swore to do the job. And has been on the job now for close to 2-3 weeks. So by now, there should be a roadmap that I can give to Labour. That's okay, between now and the end of October, this is where we will be. And then we'll do the new salary between X and Y. And after that is done, we'll deliver on the CNG from Y to Z. So it's not something that you have to wait and then move away from without the reality that we face. I think Labour, despite the rocky beginnings, have been very accommodating to the demands of the federal government to be patient. But sooner or later, patience will run out. Because Labour, like I said on this program before, we need to even, apart from the federal government, there's a need for Labour to also hold governors accountable for the palliatives that they promised. And local government administration as well. Because we keep putting everything at the very top. Governors were giving more money during the last thing that they shared.
Yes.
What happened to that money?
They've been taking more money than before.
No, some governors are buying cars for musicians. Some are buying cars for traditional rulers. That's not the next thing. The next thing is to make the poor man who is carrying the brunt of these changes get some relief. And to Labour, this looks more like business as usual. And that's why the job of the minister is cut off for him. If Labour is not going to go on strike, sooner or later Nigeria will turn.
Do the needful and stop the strike.
Yeah, what we're saying now, the strike threat now is now becoming like something that's recurring that might not be too effective right now. Again, because I don't know the level of their mobilization for their last warning strike in Lagos. But I am in Lagos. I can tell you that the 2 days failed.
Yes, it's difficult. You can see that even the private sector has been saying they don't want a strike. They are going through a lot already.
Yeah.
They are finding it difficult to even achieve profitability or even break even.
To even buy.
Break even is a problem. Now you are talking about a strike. They don't want a strike, and they've made it clear that no, not at this time. So, but strike is a peaceful means of getting government to honor its obligation to workers and by extension the citizenry. So they need to move quickly and ensure that Nigerians begin to see. If we want, let's even the conversation about the minimum wage, let it start now. Let it start.
Beyond conversation.
No, it has to start about, I mean, minimum wage is not something that you decide quickly. But let the conversation even start. I've not even seen
proposal.
Yes, that okay, this is
okay.
What,
the minimum we are talking about.
So
what
let
we are
us,
suggesting.
And a long time ago,
since May 29, they removed the hike.
Discussed about that a long time ago. So by now they should be talking about, okay, what are we likely to pay? Let's see where labor stands on this matter. You know,
and see what we can afford.
That there will be a lot of back and forth
because we have not had minimum wage for years, whereas the Constitution says that every 4 years. Is it 4 or 5? 5 years that we should have a minimum wage. You know, the last one was delayed.
30,000.
Goodluck Jonathan did it, but President Buhari wasted so much time, exceeding even the time that the Constitution stipulates to come with a minimum wage. Now a new minimum wage has been due for some time. So we need to discuss it.
All right. To err, they say, is human, but to forgive is divine. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo spat on the Yoruba Traditional Institution in Oyo State last week. But whether he will be forgiven for that action remains to be seen. His wife, Taiwo Obasanjo, has begged for forgiveness from Oyo Obas and the Yoruba people over the action of her husband, who publicly humiliated traditional rulers for not standing up in reference to him as a former president and the governor. In a statement titled Oyo Kings, a plea for forgiveness, she begged for forgiveness and pardon for Obasanjo from all Yoruba sons and daughters. GKB, Osiare.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I saw that video. I was confused.
Yeah,
because don't forget, this same Obasanjo, I've seen him prostrating for Oni of Ife
doing the
of this world, and
even the Olu of Ewori.
I've seen him prostrating. It's not as if before now that this is a man that likes to disregard the traditional institution. But what happened?
Well, according to sources, Obasanjo came in with Governor Seyi Makinde, and everybody stood up, but His Royal Majesty sat down. And they said it's against protocol.
Okay, let's quickly take this pause. We'll be right back after this breather.
In today's world, our lifestyle, both at work and at play, depends on connectivity. Our connectivity depends on the devices that make it possible, and these devices depend on electric power. When power fails, our life shrinks, our work drops, and our joy dips. JRB Solar Energy Systems are here to ensure that we enjoy uninterruptible power, uninterruptible joy. Whether you're running a business, an institution, or just a home you return daily to rest, JRB has got you covered. No project is too big for our super digital inverters, long-lasting batteries, and efficient solar panels. Go. Dream on. Change your world. JRB Solar Inverters, batteries, solar panels, solar streetlights, and more. Telephone 0906 752 1111. Email sales@jrbsolar.com. With JRB, the sun's gonna shine on everything you do.
need something we go ginger me. We tom I dey breathe for it now. I dey run kilometers. That's why I dey come.
Thank you for staying with us. BKO, GKB,
Yes.
Before we went on break.
Yes, I was trying to give the background to what really happened. So Mr. Obasanjo came in with the governor. I think they were coming from somewhere, and then the Obas did not stand up. Of course, there are some Obas in Oyo State that, as a matter of courtesy, do not stand up. The Alafin is one of them. The Olubadan is another. I think the Showun and they are saying, I think 5 of them. I don't know about lesser Obas. First class Obas.
Alafin, Showun of Ogbomoso.
Even I know that even the late Alafin, as a chancellor of a university, will come in last. Whoever you are doesn't care. You are governor, you are not governor. As long as he was the chancellor of the school, he will make sure he came in last to ensure that. But 2 problems arose here. The way Mr. Obasanjo treated the Obas are very bad. But it's not a reflection on the Obas. It's a reflection on his own upbringing. Because one thing about correcting people is that you look at the environment and the situation. If you feel they've breached protocol, there are ways to say this. It's not your protocol. It's the protocol of Mr. Seyi Makinde. Mr. Seyi Makinde is the one that holds the authority. They are not standing up for you, Mr. Obasanjo, as a person. They did not stand up for Mr. Seyi Makinde as a governor. So that is where the lacuna is. I agree that it depends on the protocol in Oyo State as of today. Because I'm not only the Oserian Kakafa, I'm also the Otuakogbo of Ibadan land. So I do know that there are things that don't happen in public, that people do in private. So the Obas were wrong for not obeying protocol. But Mr. Obasanjo was not the person to dress them down. It was not his place. Because he was not the one being disrespected. The power being disrespected is that of the governor. And this came about solely because the Nigerian elite took over power from the colonialists. And they retained the structures that colonialists used to oppress our people. So that 60 down here the line, a local government chairman still has more power than an Oba in his domain. In fact, a local government chairman can dismiss a first-class Oba with impunity. Just like we now have in states where commissioners for chieftaincy affairs can also query kings on behalf of the governor for going out. So what really happened, like I said, is unfortunate. Mr. Obasanjo heard by simply assuming things that were not in his purview. The Obas heard by not obeying the protocol set down by the people working in the government house. I'm sure the governor was not really bothered. Because I'm sure things like this, because if you know Mr. Makinde is a very easygoing person. It's not really for protocol. In fact, it took us almost a year to force him to start wearing this cap. In the first 6 months of his reign, he was walking bareheaded. I said, you are the governor of your state, you can't be going around like this. So it's not really that stickler. But Mr. Obasanjo took it upon himself in his own, the word I can't use the words on television, in his own manner of expressing himself, that he's better than everybody. And it was his duty as a former head of state to talk down on our Obas. Of course, there will be consequences.
You know, what they would be looking at the time that he was military president, military head of state, and his stature as a general, and even his age, that perhaps is older than all these people, and has supervised over many Obas.
Many of the Obas there are not even as old as his first son. Many of them. The current Oni is not as old as Obasanjo's first son.
Yeah.
But Obasanjo will prostrate for him. I've seen him prostrate for the Olu of Wari.
Amiko.
Yes. So
he prostrate for his own king now. The Olu of Owu.
Yes.
He's an Owu chief now.
He's the one who is the one who tries to show that this is our culture. The only thing I quarrel with, is telling them to get up and then sitting down. But I do not quarrel with him telling them that what they did is wrong. I've seen emirs stand up when a governor comes into an arena. I've also seen a sultan appear to disrespect a head of state, a military ruler. And there were consequences for that. When Abacha was reading a speech at a military event, and you came in with your kakaki, he merely looked at the military administrator of Kaduna State, and he knew what he had to do.
Needful.
A query came, and that was the beginning of the removal
of
that. Yes.
And it was Sultan no more.
Yes. Because look, whether we like it or not,
that's the structure.
The chairman of the local government is
the boss.
But it doesn't mean that you will wake up as a local government chairman and say you sack an emir. You sack a first class. You've not got the power. As long as it's even the governor that confers that first classship on you, who is that local government chairman who will simply sack you? No, they can't do that. They can't. It's the job of, it's the governor who can do that. And even for governors, it's a rarity to sack a king. It is only when a king appears to have provoked the governor to that point, and we've seen, or there is disrespect for the position of the governor. You saw what happened with Jokolo. Jokolo in the emir of Gwandu. The governor felt that he didn't respect him. A civilian president, he sacked a governor with a military background. It's not. You can be a former general. A civilian governor can sack you because you are a public servant. I believe that Obasanjo was right in saying, look, you should have honored this man when he came in. I believe he was right. What I oppose was that manner of just saying, Edide! And then the alacrity with which they got up, you will know that fear, maybe they were afraid that something could happen. Because the way they sprang to their feet, well, you will see that they were really rattled. But he could have corrected them with love without necessarily diminishing and humiliating them in the way that he did. I'm not an Obasanjo fan. Everybody knows that. But on this, I believe that. You see, when some of these governors, when a traditional ruler beat up another traditional ruler the other day, he knew he should have been gone. A governor had to save his job. So are we going to say because you are a traditional ruler, you are first-class king, you have the right to beat up fellow kings? No. They will serve you breakfast when you do that. So this is the thing. Obasanjo shouldn't. We accept the apology of Mama Obasanjo, but next time, even when you want to correct our kings, and then people will also ask the question: the kings that he did that to, did we have Awujale in attendance? Did we have an Alaafin in attendance? Maybe the category, the caliber of kings also influenced the way he spoke. Abiayo. Because even the Oba of Lagos, a man very unpredictable in his ways, are you going to just simply talk to him like that? No, now. No. So maybe he just felt, these ones, they've not reached the level of an Alaafin now. They've not reached the level of Oni now, and they are doing this. So he just decided that, look, let me...
Well, the danger this creates now is that Obas will now try to be militants. Most of them will bear the brunt.
Militants?
Like trying to assert powers they don't have.
And let them assert powers they don't have now.
Which to me is what
the outcome is predictable.
That's why I said it's better to have chastised them in private. Cover their dignity. Instead of doing it in public and creating monsters that we don't know what will happen.
Nothing will happen.
We have to do that.
They are under authority. Traditional rulers are under authority.
Commissioner for Local Government.
Look at traditional rulers who were turbaning bandits the other day. When they served their breakfast, were we not happy?
Okay, GKB. Sorry, I want to thank you for your contribution. And Mr. You're welcome back. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11 p.m. Join us this Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 for Journalist Hangout on Sunday on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubaku. See you tomorrow.
From humble beginnings to the extraordinary, we've witnessed incredible bonds, the rise of legends in the most challenging of times, and the most unforgettable moments that kept us at the edge of our seat. Everything up till now was just the beginning. Legends go head-to-head as timelines have collapsed for the ultimate showdown. Welcome to Big Brother Naija All-Stars. Starts 23rd July. Headline sponsor, Money Point.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Are you worried about the safety and security of your home at night? Do you wish to know when intruders come close to your home? Or do you want to protect what matters to your family from anywhere at any time? What if there was a convenient, affordable way to keep surveillance in your home without having to worry about wires, installations, or heavy light bills? Introducing the incredible Sidebulb HD Cam, the robotic 360-degree two-way torque camera with action tracking technology. Sidebulb is the ultimate solution for discreet and powerful surveillance. It's so easy to install, and the app lets you rotate and view the video from your Sidebulb in real time from any smartphone. You can drop in from anywhere and check in with our two-way talk technology. Talk and listen at the same time.
Hello, Mommy.
Hey, sweetie. I'll be home soon, okay?
Sidebulb's advanced tracking technology locks onto motion and tracks in real time. Set the siren alarm to go up when motion is detected and keep intruders away. Check in on your home while you're away. Make sure the kids got home safely. Interact with visitors at your doorway or surprise a trespasser.
Surveillance in a light bulb. I was amazed at the 360-degree rotation. It gives me a full view of my house and I can check in on my kids. The footage is clear and the night vision is so impressive. The best part, I can add multiple side bulbs for a complete home surveillance.
I really like my Sidebulb. It's so easy to use. I just downloaded the app, I put it on my phone, and I add it up and run in about 3 minutes.
Traditional surveillance systems are bulky, expensive, and difficult to install. But with Sidebulb HD Cam's innovative design, installation is as fast as changing a light bulb, and it's made for indoor and outdoor surveillance.
The Sidebulb HD Cam is now available in Nigeria, exclusively from ShopX TV. You could be paying up to 200,000 naira for an indoor and outdoor security system that doesn't fully secure your home. But call the number on your screen now and get the Sidebulb HD Cam for just 45,000 naira and get peace of mind. And that's not all. If you call now, we'll give you an extra Sidebulb at no extra cost. That means you buy one and get one free for 45,000 naira. But wait, there's more. If you order now, you get the Sidebulb HD Cam delivered to you for free wherever you are in Nigeria. So, call the number on your screen now or visit our website to place your order while stock lasts. The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, on the program. We're keeping tabs with events and happenings in the polity. I am Nifemi Okuntoye. President Bola Tinubu is now in New York for the high-level meetings of the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly. He arrived at the J.F. Kennedy International Airport in New York at about 6:45 p.m. local time on Sunday. The president is leading the Nigerian delegation to attend the scheduled events of the General Assembly from 18th to 26th September. And this is his first outing in his capacity as president of Nigeria to the United States. The president was received by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, the permanent representative of Nigeria to the UN, Tijani Mohammed Bande, and Dangana Lu, Nigeria's defense attaché in Washington, D.C. The theme of this year's United Nations General Assembly is rebuilding trust and reigniting global solidarity, accelerating action on the 2030 Agenda and its sustainable development goals towards peace, prosperity, progress, and sustainability for all. President Tinubu, in his inaugural statement to the Assembly, will be addressing world leaders in the evening of Tuesday at about 6 p.m. local time. He will be the 5th African leader to speak on day one of the gathering and the 14th speaker out of 20 leaders slated to speak tomorrow. Also, President Tinubu is slated to participate in the high-level dialogue on financing for development, high-level meeting on pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response, as well as the UN Secretary-General's Climate Ambition Summit, high-level meeting on universal health coverage, high-level panel on reform of the global financial architecture, amongst several others. In New York, President Tinubu is also scheduled to hold several bilateral meetings with world leaders, including the presidents of the European Union Commission, Brazil, and South Africa. But what's the significance of the United Nations General Meeting? Well, we know it's the main policy organ of that organization, comprising all member states. It provides a unique forum for multilateral discussion of the full spectrum of international issues covered by the Charter of the United Nations. The General Assembly is also the main deliberative, policy-making, and representative organ of the UN, comprising all 193 member states. It provides a unique forum for multilateral discussion of international issues, including peace and security. For more on the significance of the United Nations General Assembly and President Tinubu's attendance, I'm joined by CEO Economic Associates Dr. Ayo Teriba, who joins me live from Lagos. Dr. Teriba, let's begin with how efficiently you think the United Nations has been able to keep its core mandate of international peace and security, particularly when you consider what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, as well as the many global conflicts that we're dealing with.
Well, you have to commend the United Nations for maintaining global peace, global harmony. Russia, invasion of Ukraine, the Russian-Ukraine war notwithstanding. These are isolated, cases. You can't compare it with, the toxic paths in which the world was fragmented, into, factions, where you had the Cold War, build up of armaments, and only some countries, forming what they call the non-aligned movement. Increasingly, there is global peace and harmony, and exceptions cannot prove the rule. Let's hope that the Russian tension will end sooner rather than later. The world goes more by the way of dialogue, and there's no better global platform for dialogue than the United Nations.
All right, so let's talk about Nigeria's engagement in the Hangout event, which has officially begun today. We understand our president will be addressing, will be kickstarting the debate tomorrow with his inaugural address. And on Wednesday, he's slated to participate in the high-level dialogue on financing for development. He will also possibly advance his economic development agenda for what we've seen now to be an aggressive investment attraction in his meetings with global leadership of transnational firms. We also are hearing that some of these firms would include Microsoft, Meta Technologies, ExxonMobil, General Electric, and a few others. What are the real potential opportunities here for Nigeria?
Well, this is presenting a very good opportunity for Nigeria to reconnect and reintegrate into the global mainstream, that is today being driven more by investment flows than by goods and services flows. In the past, it was about flow of goods and services that seemed to have peaked in the past decade and is most likely to decline. But you are finding, investment stocks, in particular, foreign direct investment stocks, doubling more like every 10 years, and Nigeria has largely missed out of that process over the past 2 decades. So Nigeria is fortunate, to have in the saddle a president that is awake, to the strategic significance of investment to Nigeria's quest for what he has described as renewed hopes. And if what happened in India is anything to go by, going to India and in a matter of days coming back with pledges of $14 billion in foreign direct investments is a first, for Nigeria. The last time I was on your program, we were speaking about the NNPC having secured $3 billion, not in investment, in debt, now. And I was saying on that occasion that we are not looking for $3 billion, we are looking for $30 billion. We are looking for $50 billion. In between that time and now, the president has secured $14 billion. The figures they are talking about from UAE is also likely to be in the 2 digits. And now you have the biggest stage in the world.
Let me butt in, Dr. Teriba.
Yeah.
How reliable are these figures you're quoting? Because at face value, it's promised investment, right? How reliable do you think this will be in real figures when it comes to having the boots on ground here in the country?
Well, all global investment figures, particularly greenfield investment, are based on investment announcements. Investors don't just announce the amounts that they are going to invest. When they announce it, it eventually happens. So there is not in our place, you've had a decade or two in which nobody promised you anything. And now that you have, it may look too good to believe, but it is real. And that's how it starts. And then it's followed, by agreements, and it's followed, by the consummation of the deals. Now the president is going to meet other countries. We'll have bilateral talks with other countries, including Brazil, and in particular, the European Union, the European Commission, that's not one country, at this meeting. And it should present, very valuable opportunities. We can replicate what we did in India or in UAE with some of these countries. And then the president is also meeting, as you have mentioned, the leadership of several transnational, companies.